everybody, and welcome to another edition of Community Rewind. I'm your host, Alex Mead, and we have a ton of stuff up again this week. But remember, if you missed anything in previous weeks, you can always head on over to WLSUtv.com. Scroll down till you see the Community Rewind icon, click there, and you can find all the programs or all the recent episodes free of charge from Campbell University and WLCU. So like I said, we already have a ton of stuff up today, so let's just go ahead and start diving right into it. Up first is the Vice President for Student Activities as well as Athletics, and we'll get his take on what students can kind of anticipate is going to be a little bit different on campus this coming fall, since everything has been so fluid and so wild with the coronavirus, as well as with sports being in the air, what we can kind of expect or maybe anticipate for this coming fall.
Well, most of our winter sports programs were nearing postseason. We actually had a couple of teams on the road. Our women's wrestling team was on the road to their national championship. Our women's basketball team, when sports were stopped and the postseason was stopped, they were flying out the next day to the national championship in Billings, Montana. So our winter sports just pretty much came to a standstill, the postseason. And then the spring sports, baseball and other programs that had already started had to stop immediately. And those students stayed on campus for a few days after that, but everything, once we got the word that spring sports were canceled, that the winter championships had been canceled, we pretty much stopped all activity in athletics. The Mid-South Conference has been very proactive in dealing with our football situation. The schedule has been updated for this fall. Each team will play 9 games. Typically, we would play 10 or 11 football games. Actually, the NAIA mandated that the maximum number of games a team could play would be 9. So the Mid-South Conference is following suit. Our schedules have been adjusted. We will only leave the state of Kentucky one time. We will play all the other Mid-South Conference teams in the state of Kentucky. The one exception is Cumberland University in Lebanon, Tennessee, which is a very short trip for us. We will play Cumberland University twice. We will play them here at Finley Stadium, and we'll play them in Lebanon, Tennessee. And we will also play Lindsey Wilson twice. We'll play them down there in Columbia, and they will come here to Finley Stadium. So we'll have a 9-game schedule. Still so many unknowns. Will we be able to have fans? Will we have a limited number of fans? So that there's so many things that are yet to be determined that we're still waiting to find out about. We're planning for our fall student athletes to begin returning August 12. We still have some decisions to make at the administrative council level about, are we going to quarantine certain students, certain groups of students? Will all the student athletes be tested when they arrive on campus? Will we ask them to be tested before they come to campus? So many of those questions are still yet to be answered. This thing is so fluid and it changes from day to day. But our immediate plan is to have those student athletes begin returning to campus on August 12. Again, the Mid-South Conference has mandated a limited number of practice days before your first competition. Competition has been pushed back later in the fall, and so that will help us get our student athletes here, get them acclimated to the heat of the summer, and then begin competition when it's appropriate. We're planning for our residence halls to be full this fall. As a matter of fact, we have over 200 more residence hall reservations right now than we did the same time last year. I think students are excited and want to be on campus. We're excited about them being back on campus, and we want them here. But again, we have to follow the guidelines of the CDC, the state, the information coming out of the governor's office, our local health department, the Lake Cumberland Health District. We're in contact with all of these entities as we plan for the future. Our hope, our goal is to have residence halls that are completely full this fall on campus. We'll see changes in academics. We'll see changes in student activities. We're going to see changes in athletics. We're going to see changes in how we go to the dining hall. There are going to be a number of changes that we will experience this fall on campus. Aside from the things that I mentioned with the residence halls, We're still trying to determine how many can be in a classroom. How are we going to sanitize that classroom between each class? These are all things that we're working through. We're putting together a plan for everybody to return to campus, including even all of our employees. So we're working on that plan really hard day to day. We're talking about these things, very important issues that we have to address. So we're going to see things different. I've said in the past, I don't like the term the new normal, but really that's what it is. Things probably will not go back to the way they've always been, where students can just congregate anywhere and everywhere on campus. We're going to have to be really diligent about the social distancing thing, washing your hands, making sure the areas that you go to, maybe you take wipes and sanitize your desk as you enter a classroom or the table in the cafeteria. While our own folks on campus will be doing those kinds of things, students may want to do that for themselves. We want our students to come here, be in a healthy environment, and to feel comfortable. We want them to feel like they are being taken care of, that the environment is safe for them to be in, while we can give no guarantees. But we do certainly know for certain that there are going to be changes.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
Hey, Mommy.
All right, don't forget to buckle up.
As parents, we make daily decisions to keep our children safe. But it's easy to forget that sexual abuse could happen to any child, at any place, by anyone. It's our responsibility to prevent child sexual abuse. To learn more, visit www.pcaky.org. Or to make a report of child abuse, call 1-877-KY-SAFE-1.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Community Rewind rolls on right here on WLCU TV. And in previous episodes, last couple weeks anyways, we've talked about Campbell's University having multiple regional sites all over the country, and a couple of those have their own athletic programs, like in Harrodsburg. Up next is the men's and women's soccer coach, Paul Brooks, and we'll get his take on what everybody can expect from Harrodsburg soccer this season.
It's 50 years this fall since I first kicked a soccer ball competitively. My dad was a semi-pro soccer player, and my grandfather was a semi-pro soccer player. My dad actually had professional trials with what's now the Premier League. And so it was ingrained in not only in England's culture, but in my personal family culture as well. So it was natural that I would follow that path too. And I grew up in a small town in a county called Lincolnshire, very rural, just like central Kentucky. And then I got an offer at age 14 to go and play in the Norwich schoolboy system. Norwich are in last place in the Premier League right now, and along with about 70 other goalkeepers, because that was the position I played. Unfortunately, a motorcycle accident at age 18 put paid to those career aspirations, and so I just became a fan until I moved 21 years ago here to central Kentucky. So celebrating 21 years as a Kentuckian this year. And literally as soon as I got off the plane, and I don't know if it's because it's an English stereotype, they were like, oh, British guy, soccer. So I've been really fortunate and really blessed to coach at literally every level of the game in this country, from my daughter's rec team 20 years ago to high school, where I hold a couple of high school records for wins, and also college level, and also with professional women's soccer with FC Indiana, who've won 4 national championships, one while I was there. So I've had a fantastic experience traveling all over the country at every level of the game, and so honored to be here in Harrodsburg, Kentucky, which is my adopted hometown, and where I've lived for 20 years. And the cohesion of a college soccer program coming to my adopted hometown is just, you couldn't make that stuff up. It's a blessing. But it's been fantastic. I only live a 7-minute drive away, so it's a great commute, and has allowed me to come down regularly, daily almost, and see the progression. So fantastic facilities that will help us recruit efficiently, because we've got facilities that a lot of bigger schools would be proud to have. And I probably would have been sent for some kind of psychiatric treatment in the early days, because I would just come down to this space and look out over it before anything was even built. So if anyone had been driving by, they'd be like, what's that guy doing? That's really weird. He's just looking at a field. And obviously, we're a very young team. We've got 3 transfers, and the main reason they're transferring is because they're all from Mercer County, Kentucky, which is where our education center is based. So that's exciting. But apart from that, we've literally got 42 freshmen. So that's going to be quite the senior night in 4 years' time. We'll probably have to spread it over a whole weekend. But the vision for this year is just to be competitive, get these guys some experience. Obviously, you know, as we progress and we retain these players, we're going to have a really strong upperclassmen squad in a couple of years, and that's when we'll certainly be looking at championships and other what will then be attainable goals.
The American Red Cross urgently needs blood and platelet donations and asks all healthy donors to schedule an appointment to give now. With the coronavirus outbreak, it is important to maintain a sufficient blood supply. Your blood donation is critical and can help save lives. Please schedule an appointment today. Download the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. You can make a difference.
Woo! Come on! Go, Diane! Yeah, keep it going! Yeah! Go, honey!
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane! Woo! You got this!
Ah, the Green River of Kentucky. How'd we ever get so lucky to have this river green with more species than most have ever seen? An underwater zoo where we fish, kayak, and canoe. To help protect it, what can we do? Support Forever Green, and let's keep the green clean. Follow us on Facebook at Forever Green River KY.
Wash your hands, stay home, cover your cough. It's our new reality with COVID-19, and that means calling ahead instead of going directly to a doctor or hospital if you're sick. It means being more patient. We're all in this together, and we all have a role in preventing the spread. So, prepare, focus on the essentials, protect, keep some space from people outside your home, and disinfect a lot. Get the facts at kycovid19.ky.gov. Prepare, protect, disinfect.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch. Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Have questions about the coronavirus?
I'm here to share some simple steps you can take to help protect yourself and others.
Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Wash your hands often with soap and water for 20+ seconds.
Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue.
Clean and disinfect surfaces and objects. Wash hands after touching commonly used items.
Together, we can help slow the spread.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One person left for us this week on Community Rewind. Up next is the Dean and Professor of the School of Social Work, Dr. Helen Mudd, and we'll get her take on what it was like in the end of the spring semester with the coronavirus getting started up, as well as what it's like being a professor gearing things up ready for this crazy fall semester.
Well, social work is blessed because we had an online version of every single one of our face-to-face classes. And every one of my professors teaches online in addition to teaching face-to-face. So for us, it was pretty seamless that we brought our students right into the online classrooms. We were familiar with them. Most of them were familiar with them. We did have a few students that had some technology issues, but we were able to help them work those through, and so it went great for us. Well, one of the big changes is we had a trip planned to Europe in June. So, of course, that did not happen. There were about 20 of us going to Europe to complete an experiential learning class, and so that was postponed to 2021. I think one of the biggest changes for us through COVID is we don't see each other face to face as much. We have learned to be very proficient in our Zooming, and we can Zoom, and we've used Teams. And so one of my faculty members actually remarked, my online faculty members, I should say, remarked that she said she felt closer to her coworkers now through Zoom than she did when we were meeting face to face, and she was Zooming in from her remote location. So she said, with everybody Zooming, I feel very much a part of things. Social work likes to share what we're doing. We're called to serve, and we're also, social justice is a part of our mission along with the value of human beings. And so we sent a call out to all of our alumni and our students to share with us what they were doing during COVID. We have a newsletter, and we highlight what our faculty are doing and what our students are doing during COVID. And we had several students that were working in hospitals. We had students working in food pantries. We had students working in agencies, child protection agencies, and other types of agencies that were still making home visits. So social work is very much on the front line serving people regardless of what's going on in society. Well, we are preparing our face-to-face classes. We use a master course system. So whether you're taking a face-to-face class or an online class, you're going to be working with the same textbook, the same syllabi, the same structure, the same assignments. We use key assignments. All of that is the same, regardless if you're in the face-to-face or the online mode. So our teachers are preparing to go live in the classroom, but if for some reason that doesn't happen, or if we start face-to-face and COVID increases and we have to go fully remote, we're prepared to do that. We experienced that in spring. It went seamlessly. We're good to go in the fall. Life is still good. We just have to be flexible and make adjustments. And I think self-care is tremendously important. We need to get out into the air and walk. I'm a camper. Of course, we have an RV at this point in my life. I used to do tent camping, so I like to be outside, and I'm thrilled that the campgrounds are open again and we're able to get out and just enjoy nature. And that's what I would recommend my faculty, my students, and anybody watching. Yes, I would say take this opportunity to connect with nature, to connect with your environment, to take care of that chore list that had built up for years. Well, now you're at home, so, I commute from Bardstown. So the gift to me has been 2 hours every day. I get that as a gift. Plus, gas. I'm saving gas money as well. So I'm a half full person if you haven't noticed. So I look for the positives in every situation. If you're interested in making a difference in this world through the pandemic or just meeting the needs of individuals, social work is a calling that might be for you. So reach out to me, reach out to us at the Carver School of Social. We have online and face-to-face options. We're available. Our face-to-face options are available in Louisville, Harrodsburg, Somerset, and on main campus. So we have lots of options at the undergraduate level. We have all those options at the graduate level. We have a new face-to-face option in Louisville that will begin in August, and we also have fully online options. So we'd love to hear from anyone who might be watching this. If you're interested in social work, we would like to talk to you about that call.
Why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Yeah, I get it.
Have questions about the coronavirus?
I'm here to share some simple steps you can take to help protect yourself and others.
Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Wash your hands often with soap and water for 20+ seconds.
Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue.
Clean and disinfect surfaces and objects. Wash hands after touching commonly used items.
Together, we can help slow the spread.
The American Red Cross urgently needs blood and platelet donations and asks all healthy donors to schedule an appointment to give now. With the coronavirus outbreak, it is important to maintain a sufficient blood supply. Your blood donation is critical and can help save lives. Please, schedule an appointment today. Download the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. You can make a difference.
Wash your hands, stay home, cover your cough. It's our new reality with COVID-19. The anxiety can be overwhelming. If you're feeling extra worried, you're not alone. You can still contact a mental health professional. They're ready to help you get through this. And remember, prepare, focus on the essentials. Protect, keep some space from people outside your home, and disinfect a lot. Get the facts at kycovid19.ky.gov. Prepare, protect, disinfect.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Ah, the Green River of Kentucky. How'd we ever get so lucky to have this river green with more species than most have ever seen? An underwater zoo where we fish, kayak, and canoe. To help protect it, what can we do? Support Forever Green, and let's keep the green clean. Follow us on Facebook at Forever Green River KY.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
A career in health services is closer than you think with Allied Health at Campbellsville University. Certification can take as little as 12 weeks, with programs specifically designed to fit into students' busy schedules. Offering studies from phlebotomy to pharmaceuticals, students learn while growing in a field devoted to helping others. Campbellsville University's Allied Health programs offer practical, affordable, and servant-focused training close to home. Take your first step and make a difference with Allied Health at Campbellsville University.
Testing. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy.
And that's going to wrap up this week's edition of Community Rewind. Remember, if you missed anything in this week's episode, or last week's episode, or any previous episodes, you can always head on over to WLCUtv.com, scroll down till you see the Community Rewind icon, or you can click on Dialogue on Public Issues, or What's Cooking Neighbor, or any of the other great icons that are there, and find those programs free of charge from Campbell's University and WLCU. I think it's going to wrap things up for Community Rewind. It is a 4-day weekend. It is 4th of July weekend. Have a great 4th of July weekend. Have a ton of fun and be safe out there. And for this 4th of July, let's all try to come together and unify as a country. I know 2020 has been crazy for everybody, but let's all try to come together. Have a great 4th of July. You know, we're all still Americans. We're living in this great country together, and there's a lot of differences and there's a lot of work to still be done, but there's still a lot of good here. So let's all make sure we try to work together and come together for 4th of July. So happy birthday, America. All right, got to throw that out there. I think it's going to wrap things up. So for Dr. Helen Mudd, Rusty Hollingsworth, as well as Paul Brooks, I've been your host, Alex Mead, and I will see you all next Friday night at 7 p.m. for more Community Rewind.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.